Hello, everybody. This is our first of our Northampton Film Festival chats with our shortlisted filmmakers for the 2023 competition. This year is different from any other festival that we've done because not only have we got feature-length films, but we've also got filmmakers from outside Northamptonshire. And so because of that, I thought we'd start our first chats with someone who isn't from Northamptonshire and has made a feature-length documentary. So in a moment, we're going to be talking to the director of Energy, which is a documentary about Damo Suzuki. If you don't know who Damo is, then I'm sure Michelle in a moment will introduce you to him. But yeah, without further ado, because we all know that I talk way too much if you've watched any of these before. Talking of, if you've got a question, you can put them in the chat on whatever platform you're watching it on. And if it's vaguely relevant, I'll put it to Michelle if we have time. And if you have comments or thoughts or whatever afterwards, you can always reach out to us generally. We're northamptonfilmfestival.co.uk. So even though I said without further ado and then did loads of ado, I'm going to bring in now Michelle Heighway, who is the director of our documentary Energy, a documentary about Damo Suzuki. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Becky.
No, it's good. I mean, we met actually the Real Documentary Festival a few weeks back in Leicester, where your documentary was also screening. Did it kind of go down well with audiences there? Because Leicester's not very far from us. We're not too different to the Leicester people.
Yeah, it was a beautiful festival. I really enjoyed it. Lots of great people there and great films, and a lot of sound carriers came to watch the film. So a sound carrier is a band member that plays with Damo Suzuki, part of his never-ending tour. And he is well known, Damo Suzuki, who is the main character in my documentary, Energy. He is well known for being a krautrock legend in the band Can. And since leaving Can, he went on like a 20-year tour non-stop around the entire world, playing with lots of different people that he would call sound carriers. And they do these gigs and there's like no rehearsal and just magic happens there in front of you, and he speaks in a language that's otherworldly, that is like and he's like this metaphysical transporter. So anyhow, some of the sound carriers that were in the film actually came to the Real Documentary Festival, so it was really lovely to meet those people again and chat to them and listen to how they felt after watching the documentary, which was really lovely as a filmmaker to hear how it like touches other people and inspires other people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, actually, that was a really nice little introduction really you gave to who is Damo and why would you make a documentary about him. But so can you stepping back a moment, can you tell us a little bit about how this came about? How did you get involved with this? How did you decide to make Damo Suzuki as a subject for a feature-length documentary?
Yeah, I'd photographed Damo like at least 5 times before. A friend of mine was in a band called The Window, right? And they played with him like 3 to 4 times. And my friend Neil, unfortunately, died of cancer. And Damo did this beautiful blog about Neil. And I then interviewed Damo about the band. And then a couple of months after, I was advised that Damo had cancer, and I was really shocked. And I just felt like I wanted to follow that journey, and I felt like it would be a cathartic healing journey for me as well, a subject that was really close to my heart. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. And also Damo's this like enigmatic outsider artist as well, which I'm very drawn to outsider artists. My first feature documentary was about a great British eccentric called Jake Zebedee Mangel-Wurzel. So I've always been really inspired and intrigued by people that think outside the box and just very different. So it was really brilliant to take this journey and like evolve emotionally and learn so much more about Damo and his world and the world of Elga, his partner that supported him through his journey, healing through cancer, and then being able to go back on tour, which was like a really beautiful journey. It took 5 years, so I had to be very patient. And 2 crowdfunding campaigns. I managed to raise like approximately 20,000 to enable me to edit the film and, and have animation and things like that.
Wow. Well, Yeah, I mean, what you're saying there, it's really appropriate for Northampton Film Festival, because we have this theme that we say Northamptonshire is a county that is full of people who are rebels and revolutionaries, misfits and mavericks, creatives and change makers. And so when we opened up the entries for this year's film festival to people outside of the county, as you are, we really wanted stuff that fitted that theme. And I think there's probably quite a few words within that could probably suit Damo, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's important, if you've got ideas that are different and maybe not accepted by others, like if you want to be a change maker, do it. If you've got ideas and concepts that you want to make real and bring to life, and just like put your heart into it and create art, as well as you can, and be like truly authentic and just get into the flow, which I guess is what Damo did and what Damo taught me as an artist as well, not to be too much of a perfectionist also, because it's like, a lot of filmmakers, I guess, are like perfectionists too. Yeah, so it's great to be selected to be part of this festival as well. So thank you so much. The more people that can follow this film and watch it and gain an insight from Damo's life and maybe be inspired, the more people see it, it has a positive impact. I feel like I'm giving a gift of my personal journey, the things that I've learned, and hopefully that transfers and translates on a cinema screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, talking of you as an artist, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've done before, how you came, to be doing documentary filmmaking and that kind of stuff.
So I guess when I was younger, I watched a lot of films. My parents separated when I was 5, and my dad would always get me like videos as a kid on a weekend to watch. So like I was inspired by many films growing up. I studied photography, started chasing the light and capturing images with bands live on the stage, getting into like a meditative state, not really knowing, but subliminally knowing the fact that when I'm in the moment, in the power of now, which is what I learned in the documentary with Damo, that's when I'm truly like healing or in a flow or present. I think filmmakers are always thinking about the future or the past, and it's not often we're in the moment and the present. So I adored just being in the present, capturing the light and taking lots of photos at live events. And then I went to uni, and as soon as I finished uni, I extended my mortgage by 10 grand and got like a kit to make a film. I didn't know what the film was going to be, but I wanted the kit. So I got a really nice Sony camera, which takes those little mini DV tapes, and I made Mr. Somebody. That was like my first feature. And I basically stumbled across the main character driving home from work. I was like, in a bit of a daze. I'd had a boring day. I was doing a job that wasn't for me at all creative. And in front of me, there was this like red car with 2 little dogs chasing the back of it. And on the car was a Christmas tree and a bath. Anyhow, it was the great British eccentric Jake Mangle-Wurzel. And I followed his story, and that also took me 5 years. So that screened at Sheffield Doc Fest and Leeds International. And then soon after I finished that, my friend passed away, and then I went straight into energy about Damo Suzuki. So yeah, that's another 5 years. So got to speed things up now and try to not take as long, but sometimes you need time, to create a really good narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really interesting at the festival that we met at in Leicester, that speaking with lots of documentary filmmakers, 5 years was not unusual. There's quite a few filmmakers that said they've taken that long. Because, like you say, there's potentially a huge. This isn't news reporting. This is a documentary, so it's potentially a huge journey you take with people. And that obviously is probably going to take time to build those relationships and things. I mean, how do you keep up life, but also all the momentum and everything over kind of a 5-year period making a film?
Oh, okay. I guess I just I held myself accountable by creating the crowdfunding campaigns. And I also went to this interesting seminar by Peter Broderick called Seize the Future. And he was like, okay, create a Facebook page for your film, even though it's not being created properly yet, so people can follow it. So it was like after 3 years of posting about making this documentary, I did the crowdfunding campaign, which engaged a lot bigger audience. And the audience that I already had, because I'd been seizing the future with social media on Twitter and things like that, I was able to, raise a nice amount of money to continue. But yeah, there were times when I had to totally stop because I didn't have the funds, or just maybe because nothing was happening at that moment in time. And you have all these different jobs and life just happens. And yeah, you have to try not to get stressed out about anything if things stop, and just know that it's going to happen when the time is right. And it did. So yeah, and it was during the pandemic that really I had time to edit the film properly myself and bring closure to it, because I wasn't juggling jobs and traveling and things like that. I had a little bit of ill health as well during the pandemic. I had COVID and then post-viral fatigue, etc. But I was able to finally bring closure to the documentary during that time. So it was kind of a gift to look at it in a positive way, to just like sit back and just know that I'm at home isolated, and all I can do is make my time go by editing pieces and sections of the scene step by step. So yeah, I think just go with the flow. Don't stress yourself out too much. Lots of beautiful things happened by magic at last minute. I got archive that was really important about Jackie, who was the drummer in the band Can as well, and some beautiful images from John Podmore from a book that was released, which inspired a lot of people, and students and other sound carriers giving archive to me, and Sandra Podmore, who is the daughter of Ermin Schmidt, who was also in Cannes, gave me some really beautiful archive photographs. So all those things came together in like the 5th year that I didn't really have. So I think like it's important not to rush a story and to wait till you feel like it's whole and that it feels like home when you've watched it right from the start to the end. So yeah.
And this is quite a big question, and I think you've covered it in lots of ways as well. But why do you think it was important to make this film, or kind of tell this story particularly?
I think when I first started making the documentary, I was like grieving quite badly. And to be quite honest, I was grieving for a long time. I guess the film was kind of putting a band-aid on that, because I was able to like preoccupy my mind on focusing on something else, which might not have been helpful. But it was cathartic and healing in many ways, watching how powerful the relationship and the dynamic between Damo and Elka, and how him having a partner really like helped him survive. And I could like think of that in a way with my friend, and he had his lovely wife to take care of him, because his passing was quite sudden, like before you have time to think, oh no, this is happening. So it was also kind of, I wanted to make it really positive, because people are really afraid of the word cancer. I mean, I used to be terribly afraid of the word, and just to kind of convey it in a way that you can have some form of control of the way that you deal with your day and the way that you visualize the future to be. And Damo was just like, had this wonderful belief in God that was really majestic to me. Like it was really insane, because he only had like 10% chance to survive, and he had like 50 operations during the time. But he always said he would survive, and he wanted to get back on tour, and he was planning this. So this power of positivity, and whatever the outcome had been, this feeling of the power of now, if you're not afraid, like I just like found that really fascinating and kind of helpful on a cognitive level, that you can really habitually get in a zone of positivity instead of this fear, because also fear causes disease within the body, which will not help you when you're in the repair process. And I know that, you know, people have different types of cancer, and some of them cannot be helped at all. But it was really important for me to follow the journey, and like a massive gift for Damo to be okay. So also I love music. Always been surrounded by musicians, and all my friends are musicians, and outsider artists. I love outsider artists. So to be able to gel a really human, spiritual story about a musician that's really kind of like niche, not mainstream, it was just like a really beautiful gift, and I really enjoyed it.
Amazing. Well, yeah, and I think you know, I think we were talking before we did this, you know, that you hope that people can watch it, and you know, and that you, like I say, that there's some quite heavy, obviously heavy stuff that's gone into making this, but actually, hopefully, people come out of it, you know, having learned something, having maybe feeling quite uplifted about, you know, what they could achieve and what is important in life.
Yeah, I think as a filmmaker, it's important to find yourself, like, who are we, and what enables us to flow through life in a fearless fashion. Damo's like really fearless human beings. It was great to be surrounded by that. I think it's important to surround yourself with people that you would like visualize to be like, or you know, you feel similar to, that improves your life skills. And making a documentary and to be able to connect on that way. Sorry, my screen just went totally blank. Did I disappear?
No. That's like so totally beautiful.
But yeah, just to make a documentary about what it's like to be human, all the themes that like help us navigate through life. I feel like I did that with energy and tried to do it in a really positive way. So yeah, I hope that that's felt in the documentary, and there's lots of beautiful like gigs and creative things that happen in there as well. So it's a nice mixed bag of storytelling, I guess.
Fabulous. I feel like that is a perfect note to leave this on. Thank you very much,
Cool.
Michelle. You've made me want to go and watch the film again, so that's perfect. So thank you for joining. Let's do a weird little awkward wave as I say goodbye to you. Bye, Michelle.
Yes, and so shall we remind everybody that the film is screening with you guys on the 30th of May?
I was going to do a little plug, but yes, you've just done it for me. Yeah, so Tuesday, 30th of May, 8:30 p.m. We're showing it at Northampton Filmhouse. And if obviously if you're watching this live or hopefully before the film festival, which starts on 22nd of May, please come and watch the documentary at the Filmhouse. Great venue, great film. Hopefully leave feeling energized. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thanks, Becky. See you later.
So if you are interested, you can have a look at the whole schedule of the film festival and book tickets for the event at the Eventive site. So it's northamptonfilmfestival.eventive.org. There is a link on our main website. If you can only find that, that's fine. We are showing 2 actually music-related documentaries on that day, which is Tuesday, 30th of May. We're showing Energy, obviously, and we're also showing Shove It, which is a Zero Slingsby story documentary. So I hope you can join us. That is the end for us. We're doing more of these over the next 2 weeks into